There's also more news we're following out of Texas as the Trump administration's newest immigration detention center has officially opened at a military base there in El Paso. That facility is known as Camp East Montana. It has drawn protest and criticism from immigration advocates. The detention center can currently house 1,000 migrants, with officials planning to eventually expand it to hold up to 5,000. ABC's Maria Villarreal joins me now for more on this. So, Maria, of course, immigration advocates, as a number of these facilities have been opening, they have been raising the alarm about human rights conditions, a lack of transparency. What do we know about what they're saying here, and do we know anything about the conditions there?
You know, as of right now, Trevor, the big issue has been transparency, right? You just mentioned it. The idea that we weren't really being given a whole lot of information about what this facility looked like, you know, from the inside. A lot of that has to do with the fact that it's housed on Fort Bliss, which is a military installation. But we do know that the ACLU is raising alarms about the actual conditions of the location of where this is being put. I mean, you're talking about El Paso, you know, out in West Texas, where temperatures right now are hitting way over 100 degrees on a day-to-day basis. Plus, you have the susceptibility to sandstorms. So their concerns are the elements on the outside. We do know that U.S. Congresswoman Veronica Escobar was able to tour the facility. Again, it just opened on Sunday. She just got in yesterday and basically said, you know, this is a $1.2 billion project through the administration, that money could have been spent elsewhere. So while she isn't necessarily raising very specific concerns about the welfare of the people inside, she is raising concerns about the cost of this.
We also know, of course, Maria, the facility that's been getting a lot of attention and some comparisons to this new detention center is the one that's in the Florida Everglades, Alligator Alcatraz, as it's come to be known. And we've heard from detainees there. They've been reporting some abuse and unsafe conditions. We've heard the Department of Homeland Security deny those claims. Has the Trump administration been addressing any of those concerns?
You know, I think that these two kind of mesh together. We're at the intersection of both Camp East Montana as well as Alligator Alcatraz. So to first talk about what we see in Florida, I mean, this is a location that is right in the heart of the Everglades. So a lot of immigration advocates have talked about the fact that, you know, again, these, you know, detainees are susceptible to the elements out there, the heat and the lack of medical care. And then on top of that, they don't have, you know, the type of legal access and communication that they should be getting. Now, obviously, the Department of Homeland Security, the Trump administration, denies those claims and basically have said that they have been following the federal guidelines in this situation. But on the same note, they also talk about the location in West Texas at Fort Bliss, you know, Camp East Montana. This location is supposed to ease the issues that they are seeing in Florida by providing more bed space and by basically saying, as of right now, they don't necessarily have everything in place that detainees are afforded, but they will eventually. So we're talking about legal access, you know, access to a law library, for example, making sure that they have, you know, the food that they need, three meals a day, and then access to medical care as well. But again, until this facility opens up to, you know, whether it's media or more congressional delegations, I think that the administration is going to continue to, you know, have to face these questions, not just by media and outlet reporters, but also by the general public that, as you just mentioned a little bit ago, continues to protest outside that facility, Trevor.
Okay. Maria Villarreal for us. Maria, thank you so much.